It's June. I'm in southern Arizona, about to hike Deer Creek Trail 45 and do a little loop over this weekend. It's hot out. I think it's close to 90 still right now, but it's close to, wait, no, I think it's after 6 p.m. I only got about an hour and a half of light, so I'm only going in about 3.2 miles today. I'm gonna go out to Bars Canyon, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have this area to myself. So anyway, let's go. Okay, so this is actually kind of unexpected. There is some water pooled right there in Deer Creek. And yeah, I wasn't expecting there to be any water at all. It's pretty dry out. Yeah, it's great that Deer Creek has some water in it. So hopefully it'll continue all the way up to the top. But I am carrying all my water on this trip, about 8 liters. So yeah, I even got some rain on my way in, on the way to the trailhead. This is only about an hour and 15-minute drive from where I live. But yeah, I was really surprised I got rain on my windshield because it's only June 5th. And normally we don't get any rain around this time of year. And hopefully it doesn't really rain on this trip, but I brought my rain gear. In fact, that's the only jacket I brought because I really don't expect it to get any colder than 55. And I just got a little base layer, so I figure by the time it gets down that cold, I'll be in my tent anyway. So it looks like I'm racing the storm system here. That's where I came from. Got about 1.5 miles left. Alright, I finally got to the campsite that I wanted. I had to walk in the dark for about 15 minutes or so with my headlamp on. But yeah, it's time to set up camp now and make some dinner. Alright, I am in the tent for the night. I already ate dinner through the magic of video. I skipped through that part because it wasn't really anything to write home about. It was just some like cheesy Knorr rice sides with some tuna fish. So it was just about the most generic, most boring, most budget-friendly backpacking meal that there is. Our plan, well, I'll talk more about it tomorrow, but basically the idea is we're going to go up to the top of where the Pili trailhead is at about 6,000 feet. So we started down at like 3,300 feet. So there'll be a good amount of climbing tomorrow, but we're just following up Deer Creek. And anyway, I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Later. Well, good morning. It is day 2. Thought I'd show you guys around my campsite a little bit. So here's where I'm set up, and yeah, there's a couple big tent sites over here. I didn't get to show you guys this last night because it was dark, obviously. But here's a fire pit area, and I've never seen this before. These like wooden stools or chairs or something. That's kind of strange. And this is Deer Creek, which is not running at the moment. It's totally dry. We will be hiking up that today. So last night it stormed almost the entire night, kind of on and off. I got a lot of rain, not really hard rain, but there was some lightning. But yeah, it wasn't really bad. It was just really unusual for June. But anyway, I'm going to make some breakfast and get on the trail and start heading up Deer Creek. Okay, so yesterday we started over at the Deer Creek trailhead, and I followed this Deer Creek trail just a few miles to Bars Canyon, which is where we're currently camped. So the plan for today is to continue following Deer Creek around, and we're going to go all the way up to the Pili trailhead. Once we hit the Pili trailhead, I think I'm going to road walk a ways, and I'm either going to camp in this area or somewhere in here. So I'm not really sure which direction I'm taking tomorrow, either the South Fork Trail or the Gold Ridge Trail. I guess I'll decide when I get to the top. Whoa, Got some Mountain House granola today. Making kind of a cereal. Okay, so the plan today is to head up Deer Creek. I think it's going to be around 8.5 miles by the time I find a place to camp. So yeah, I'm just going to eat breakfast and then get on the trail as fast as possible. Okay, so what's hilarious about this is that this is only a few hundred feet up from where I camped. So there was running water here the whole time. Not that it would have helped me. I have like plenty of water on me, and there's fire restrictions in effect, so I wasn't going to have a campfire anyway. But yeah, let's hope this water keeps flowing. right, I'm about 3 miles in, so I'm about halfway up the ascent to the top of where Deer Creek ends. So I figure I got another 4 to 5 hours of hiking. It's going to be a pretty long day. I'm actually going really slow because there's been a lot of bushwhacking. It's actually really overgrown along this trail for most of it so far. I'm pretty cut up and I'm like covered in all this crap. But yeah, I'm going to collect some water and then keep hiking. Alright, I'm still only like 3.5 miles in today out of like 8.5 miles. Yeah, this trail's way more overgrown than I thought, and with having some medium to mild knee pain, it's been pretty tough going, pretty slow. I'm taking a lot of breaks. It took a while for me to filter some water, but yeah, I'm just kind of picking my way through the overgrowth little by little. The trail is no longer overgrown for the moment and it's flattened out. And I'm pretty close to that Going Camp area. Going Camp is, I guess it's just like a historical campsite that's pretty popular. But yeah, I'm gonna keep going past that. I'm gonna climb up to about 6,100 feet near where the Pili trailhead is. And then I'm gonna road walk about, I think it's about 2 miles. And I'm gonna make camp up there somewhere. So yeah, I'm really happy I'm not bushwhacking anymore. right, I've made it up the climb to the Pili trailhead. So I'm actually going to take a road that's actually behind the camera right now. About, I'm guessing 2 or 3 miles. And I really don't know what the topography is like or if it's steep or not, but it should be a lot better than what I climbed up because it really shouldn't be overgrown. So I decided what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to reach a campsite along the forest road that's just outside the, what is it called? The Gold Ridge Trail 47. So that's the trail that I think I'm going to take back down to the car tomorrow. Alright, way out there in the distance you can see the Mogollon Rim. Alright, I found a place to camp for the second night, and this is part of Camp Grasshopper, which is sort of a jeep slash hiking camping area. It's not really car accessible. But check out the view from this area. And here's a view looking the other way. My camp is set up and I've been hanging out for a couple hours. It's about 6:30. Still got about an hour and a half of light left, so I think I'm gonna make an early dinner. Yeah, this camping area is pretty interesting. We're actually outside the wilderness boundary, which means that this is accessible to vehicles, but the road coming in here is pretty rough. It's barely a jeep road, but I've had 3 visitors already. I've had one guy on a dirt bike come through, and then he came back up. Actually, I've only had 2 visitors. And then the other visitor was a couple on these little, I don't know what you call them. They're like these 4-wheel drive. They almost look like golf carts, but they're much bigger. They're like buggies, I guess. I don't think I'm going to get a lot more visitors tonight. There's nobody else camped out here. I'm the only one here. So yeah, had to chug some water and probably make something for dinner now. Alright, so here's my campsite. Thought I'd do kind of a little walk around. So, in my pack, well, I had actually 6 liters besides my bottles, but now I'm down to 6 total, so that's 4 liters right there, and then these 2 bottles I just filled up. So yeah, I got plenty of water still, even though we're in kind of a dry camping area. But this duplex is pretty cool. It has these little rings. I think this is for the freestanding tent kit, but I hang my inReach from it when we're in like non-inclement weather. Alright, so what else? Let's see. Here's the rock. That's kind of why I picked this campsite. There's a place to sit, and there's actually another campsite over there. Turn around this way, so that's the road, and that's my tripod. And check this out, how big this area is. There's like one central fire pit. It's like a typical dispersed car camping area, but this is only really Jeep and ATV accessible. And there's our sun in the shot. And it's hard to see the view from here. It is a pretty view, but there's a lot of trees kind of in the way. So walking away from the campsite, kind of across the way to the Jeep road. And I thought I'd try to go to the edge. There's kind of these interesting rock formations over here. Actually, I might have... Okay, so that's the way we're going tomorrow, towards the Gold Ridge Trail. That's the way I came from. So I want to see if I can find a way to view the rim. I'm going to be walking some animal use trails for a sec. kind of just walking through what looks like a social trail or a use trail. I don't know, these manzanitas are really heavily overgrown here. Yeah, I don't know. I think the rim of the mountain is just on the other side. Here, let's check this out. Let's go through here. Let's see, I think we might have a way through over here. Ooh, just cut my leg up a little bit. I don't know. You can kind of get a view, but it's hard to kind of tell even what you're looking at. That's not a big deal anyway. We're gonna have some pretty good views tomorrow. All right, back to camp. Tonight we got rice and chicken. Very simple ingredients, but that suits me just fine. All right, it's day 3. I'm all packed up already and ready to go. So today we're gonna go downhill, mostly about 7 miles through the Gold Ridge Trail. Okay, I'm currently at Camp Grasshopper, which is like right in here, right at the beginning of the Gold Ridge Trail. And the plan for today is just to follow Gold Ridge Trail 47 down, back to Deer Creek Trailhead. Real simple route. All right, let's get going. Alright, so far this Gold Ridge Trail is actually pretty cool. It's really wide, and it reminds me a lot of the Arizona Highline Trail in terms of how it's just wide and really well groomed. It's really easy to follow, and so far it's not been too steep, which is good for my knee. Speaking of that, the knee pain is still there, but it's not like excruciating today. It's pretty manageable. So yeah, so far so good. But yeah, I still got another 6 miles or so, I believe, to the bottom. Alright, way out there, you can't see it until you zoom far in, but there are finally some traces of civilization. First I've seen in 3 days. Yeah, I have a pretty good view of the Mogollon Rim out there. It's the faint line that you see hitting the sky. So the Mogollon Rim is about between 7,000 to 8,000 feet or so. We're actually below that right now at about 5,500 feet, and I got to descend all the way down to about 3,300 feet. So that out there is kind of the area that I came from. If you can see all those pine trees. I think the hill that I came down on was actually behind it, so you can't see it from here. Okay, so I think what we're seeing here is the South Fork of Deer Creek down at the bottom of kind of the whiter looking mountain. And so where we were on day one, it was on the other side of this mountain that's kind of in the foreground. So now you can kind of tell there's both of these, kind of the small range in the middle and then the larger range, and we were kind of in between those when we were hiking Deer Creek the last couple days. Alright, so looking back the way we came, you can kind of see the whole trail kind of going up, sort of. So it came down here and then curves up this way, and I kind of followed it down from there, and I started from way up in that area, and I'm about 3.2 miles in. still a great trail. It's really well maintained, surprisingly clear path. I mean, you can ride a dirt bike down it, so. But yeah, it's pretty sunny and hot out. Actually can see myself getting sunburned, as I forgot to put on sunscreen earlier. That's pretty bad of me. But yeah, this was kind of a trade-off. I knew it would be kind of sunny and exposed on this trail, but I didn't really feel like doing any bushwhacking on the way down, so that's why I opted not to do the South Fork and do this Gold Ridge instead. I've reached sort of kind of a high point here. And this is looking to the kind of the east, kind of the first shot we've really seen that's not looking inwards towards the Mazatzal wilderness. And way out there is like the Sierra Ancha mountain range, I believe, which I'll probably be doing some videos from that area soon. Just ahead is the trail. A really windy day, but it's a nice cool breeze. We can finally see my car down there in the trailhead. Still a long ways to go. I'm at 5,100 feet still, and we have to get down to 3,300 feet. So it's a pretty hazy day. I don't know how well it comes across on camera, but way out there I can see Roosevelt Lake, which is just below the eastern and northern part of the Superstition Wilderness. Alright, suddenly it's starting to feel very warm. It feels like it's in the high 90s now. And yeah, it descended really fast through some steep stuff that I didn't film. But it's been a pretty solid, steady descent so far. Only a couple miles from the trailhead. You check out this weird shiny rock. I don't know what it is, but it's kind of cool. Alright, well I'm like less than half a mile from the trailhead, so I'm gonna call it quits here. Just some thoughts on this trip. So first couple days, well, day one was actually super duper easy and kind of interesting because I don't do much night hiking, but really like the campsite that I stayed at over there. It's really pretty. It's just a shame that I didn't know there was water just right above it. But yeah, day two was actually really rough. Actually doing all this descending today made me really appreciate just how much climbing we did on day two. So I think we did probably around 3,000 feet on day two. So yeah, the Going camp was pretty cool to walk through. Saw some deer, and then I don't remember the name of the camp. Oh yeah, it's Camp Grasshopper is where I stayed at last night, up at the top. It is Jeep accessible, so it's not for hikers only, but it was fine. I didn't really have any company except for a few people passing through on dirt bikes. And yeah, this Gold Ridge trail feels like positively like a express elevator down to the bottom compared to what I climbed up on day one or day two. Because that Deer Creek trail, man, that was rough. I didn't really film much of the bushwhacking that I had to do, but there was a lot of it. I would probably think twice before doing it again, unless I knew for certain that a trail crew had been out in the last couple months. But yeah, anyway, I'll probably be doing more trips from the Mazatzal wilderness in the future, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, that's all I got. See you guys next time. Fighter jets. That was crazy. They were passing me the whole time, passing over me the whole time on Deer Creek on day two. Forgot to mention that. Anyway, later guys.